What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This. This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 and either build them or fix them depending on how they rank. Now, today we finish up our talks on what has become one of the most controversial wizards that I have covered on this channel. This has been an interesting week. We had some very interesting reactions to my video back earlier this week. I'll leave an iCard above for that, but yeah, this is a very powerful subclass, and it ranked a 10 out of 10. I don't think there's any way it could have ranked any differently. And yeah, now we get to build one, and it's going to be just as strong as you think. But before we jump into it, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We are coming up so close on our goal for this year. At the start of this year, our goal was 5,000 by the end of the year, and we can do it. But of course, I need your help in order to get there. In order to do that, of course, make sure to click the share button, give this to all your friends, let them see it, and of course, click the bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. Another great way to support this channel is by becoming a member. By pressing that join button down below, you can get access to all of my build guides, all of my subclass fixes, all of that good stuff. At the very lowest tier, you get access to all of that. And then there, of course, are some other great perks that come on top of that at higher tiers, so make sure to check that out. So yeah, there was a bit of controversy with this subclass being as powerful as it is. We even had some people thinking that this was not official material. This actually is official material. Anything from the Wildmount book actually is official. It was actually distributed and made by Hasbro, and the Wizards team was involved in all of this, even though it's involves a lot of Critical Role stuff, and so this actually is official. The Blood Wizard we talked about last time is not official. That is technically homebrew. Anything from the Tal'Dorei book is not official, but anything here, this one and the Graviturgist Wizard actually are official content when it comes to what WotC considers to be official. That doesn't mean that it couldn't be banned at your table due to the immense power that it wields, but just wanted to let you know this is technically official material. So yeah, you and your table can do whatever you want with that. You can ban it, you can keep it, whatever you want to do. But I have built a really fun and inevitably powerful build this week, and I am excited to show you that right after today's sponsor. If you are looking for a great gift this upcoming Christmas season, then the Wandering Tavern by Homie and the Dude is the perfect one for the TTRPG lover. This system-agnostic setting features 15 floors and 23 unique locations for you to explore on a massive airship. Interact with the various factions to learn all of the mysteries held within this vessel. Learn recipes for unique benefits and even compete in a bake-off. If you like the work of Studio Ghibli, then this is absolutely the one for you. Learn more with the link below and use code DAPPER10 to receive 10% off at checkout. And of course, by doing so, you will be supporting my channel. Thank you again to Homie and the Dude for supporting the channel, and let's get back to the video. So starting off, here are the rules for this series, just like always. And so of course, if you have different looking stats than I do, you may need to make some adjustments, but this is how we operate for this series. Now listen, I have gotten some comments and complaints and things in the comments saying, hey, this is way too much variant human and custom lineage here recently. I understand, but at the same time, I also took a huge hiatus from using that race on pretty much anything for like months and months and months, okay? So if we're looking at a percentage used over the course of this series, it's actually not that bad. So it's fine, it's fine. Either way, today we're not going with that because actually I don't think it is the optimal choice. I think that we actually are okay not having a feat at level 1 on this. I think that we need a racial feature a little bit more than that. And so we're actually going to be going with the Eladrin. Now the Eladrin is really fun. I've talked about that many times on this channel, how much I really like this race. Of course, it is an elven race. It gives you a lot of really cool stuff. Namely, it gets you things like Fey Ancestry, Fey Step, which is a really cool teleportation type of feature that has different effects depending on what season you are choosing. We also get Keen Senses, but the big one here actually is Trance. So technically any elf that gets trance could work here, but I really like the Eladrin for all of the movement options. But trance here is going to cut our long rests in half essentially, and that makes this a very compelling option because this makes it a lot quicker for us to get back our level 14 feature when we are needing to long rest and get that really powerful feature back because we have given ourselves exhaustion. So I think that is going to really give us the most mileage here. Of course, there are some other options that I think are really, really good, and I'll talk about those at the end in the honorable mentions, so make sure to stick around for that. Next up, we have our stats, and these are pretty much not going to surprise anybody. Starting off, our highest stat is going to be intelligence. Next up is constitution, then dexterity, then wisdom, strength, and charisma. Strength and charisma, of course, are interchangeable down there at the bottom. We don't really need them for anything, and so just going top to bottom. This is really the standard way of doing it, and I don't see why we would do anything differently. For our bonuses, you can take 3+1s as of the Mordenkainen's book, or you can take a +2 and a +1. I'm actually going to do the +2 +1 option this time around just because of some feats I'm taking. So the +2 is going to go into my intelligence, of course, and +1 is going to go into dex. That leaves me an odd intelligence and an odd constitution, which of course will be shored up a little bit later. For equipment, we really don't need anything that specific. We're not going to be taking any levels in anything besides wizard in this. So we're not going to be taking any artificer levels. So, you know, we're not going to need any armor for that. We're not going to need any weapons for anything. It's all magic all the time, and so yeah, we really don't need much of anything. Maybe just make sure you have an arcane focus and call it a day. That's about it. So let's start taking some levels. At Wizard 1, like I said, we are going to be Wizard all 20 levels this week. Very weird for me, I know, but I just think it's so powerful. I don't think it really needs a whole lot. And of course, we'll talk about other options at the very end with our honorable mentions for other options of multi-classing, but at least for me, I think we just go 20 levels in Wizard. At Wizard 1, we get spellcasting and we get Arcane Recovery. Arcane Recovery is of course a very handy feature to get back some spell slots on a rest, which is really good. Of course, if you don't know anything about the general Wizard features, I do have a video on that, which will be up in the iCard above for you to check out. And then as far as our spellcasting, of course, for cantrips, Firebolt is going to be really nice for just some reliable damage on the cantrip side. And then as far as another one, Mind Sliver actually works out here just because we're going to be really focusing on those sucker save type of spells here. And this is kind of one of them, which can then lead into a suck or save spell being even better. And so I really like Mind Sliver in this instance. For first level spells, there are a lot of options that are really good. Of course, Shield, Silvery Barbs, Mage Armor, those are the main ones. Then there are also things like Charm Person on the more social or outside of combat side, Burning Hands for damage, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter for control. So you get a lot of really good options in this. That's a really good mix of things, and it definitely is a really, really good start for you. At level 2, we're going to be a Wizard 2, and we get Chronal Shift and Temporal Awareness. Of course, grabbing that basically, roll that again. I know you just succeeded or your ally just failed, but yeah, do it again. It's great. And then Temporal Awareness, of course, boosting that initiative, which is incredibly useful. Next up, Wizard 3, we have Cantrip Formulas, which is just if you make an oopsie on what you want on your cantrips and you need a new one, there you go, you get a new one. So it is what it is. Then for second level spells, again, we're targeting those sucker save type of things. Hold Person, Levitate, and Web are going to be my top options. Wither and Bloom is kind of in honorable mention territory on this. I like Wither and Bloom a lot, at least at lower levels, and I think it's pretty useful actually. And then of course Misty Step for a bonus action way of moving around if for some reason we can't face step. Next up, we have Wizard 4, and we're going to just grab Resilient Constitution. Resilient just makes the most sense to me as far as making sure that my concentration is not broken, at least not as often. And so getting that proficiency here is really, really nice. Plus it gives us a +1 here, and that of course shores up that odd number, which is really, really helpful. At Wizard 5, no features, but we do get third level spells, and of course Hypnotic Pattern and Slow are going to be your top two here. Again, these are crowd control, these are shut down the boss, these are amazing. And you also have something like Incite Greed. I'm not the biggest fan of Incite Greed, but I've definitely seen it do some work, and I don't mind it here, so definitely something to at least consider. At Wizard 6, we have Momentary Stasis, which is really cool. Just super, super limited hold monster, essentially, but definitely could set up your party to put somebody in a really, really bad spot, and so I really like that. Wizard 7, no features, but we do get 4th level spells, and of course Banishment and Polymorph are going to be my top 2 picks. These spells are ridiculous, especially when you are targeting those sucker save type of things. These are some of the biggest ones that are out there, and so here they are, and they just make a lot of sense. Wall of Fire is of course another great one to have in the back pocket, just in case for crowd control. At Wizard 8, we get another ASI or feat, and I'm going to actually grab the Telekinetic feat. Now, Telekinetic might seem a little bit weird here, but to me, what I can see this as, at least flavor it as, is somebody is running a certain direction and you have caused them to go back in time or forward in time or whatever it is, and that's how you choose to position them around. And I think that could make this a lot of fun. The other thing is, of course, this could make sure that someone is within a radius of, say, a hypnotic pattern that you are dropping. This would make sure that that creature is within that range that you need it to be, and so I like that ability to do that, so definitely grab that. Plus, it gives us a +1 to our intelligence, which helps us to round that out as well, which feels really, really good. At Wizard 9, we get no features, but we do get 5th level spells, and Dominate Person and Hold Monster are going to be my top 2 picks. I have an honorable mention spot for Gesh, and yeah, Gesh is a weird one, but to me, it actually makes a lot of sense here. I think Gesh is a very flavorful pick. You don't see it a ton, but I think in this case, actually, there's a use for it. So definitely consider doing that. At Wizard 10, we get Arcane Abeyance, which is great. Just it basically just is, yeah, I want to concentrate on 2 spells at once. I want to have my spell that I'm doing and then give my fighter the ability to haste himself. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, that feature is super broken. Then Wizard 11, we get no features, but we do get 6th level spells. Disintegrate, Mass Suggestion, and even Mental Prison are pretty good options. The first 2 obviously being my premier ones, but Mental Prison, not too bad. So definitely at least consider that. Wizard 12, we get an ASI or feat, and we're just going to bump Constitution here. I don't see the need to really do anything else at this point unless you wanted to really grab the tough feat. But yeah, besides that, I think Constitution is probably our best option here. At Wizard 13, we get no features, but we do get 7th level spells, and Finger of Death and Prismatic Spray make a lot of sense for extra damage, so definitely nice options to have. Wizard 14, we get Convergent Future, which is the ridiculously broken feature that is just, yeah, no, you either pass or you save, but of course we have to take a level of exhaustion in order to do it because that is an incredibly broken feature. So yeah, it's really, really, really good. And Trance is obviously going to help us to be able to get those back if we need to, which is really, really nice. At Wizard 15, we get no features, but we do get 8th level spells, Dominate Monster, and Feeble Mind. Again, I normally don't suggest Feeble Mind, but man, here it's nasty. So I definitely would consider doing that here. Wizard 16, we get another ASI or feat, again, bumping Constitution or Intelligence, whichever one you need to. Wizard 17, no features, but 9th level spells. Oh boy, there are a bunch that work here. Time Stop, of course, is the most flavorful feature. Mass Polymorph is also Mass Polymorph, and so you gotta at least consider doing that as well. At Wizard 18, we finally get Spell Mastery, and just like always, Shield and Misty Step are gonna be my top 2 choices for pretty obvious reasons, I think. And then Wizard 19, another ASI or feat. Keep bumping those important stats here. I'm going to bump Dexterity, but of course, if you do not have maxed out stats in either of the top 2, by all means, just keep going. And finally, Wizard 20, we finally get Signature Spells, and Hypnotic Pattern and Slow just work way too well in this instance for me, and so that's what we're going to go with. So that's our build for today. Again, we really didn't need to try all that hard to create an incredibly powerful character, and it's also a ton of fun. Now, for honorable mentions, we have a few other options. For other race options, the Harengon is really, really close to being the #1 option. I think that they're very, very close to each other. Harengon, of course, gives us Hair Trigger, and this means that our initiative is going to be stupidly high every single time, and I think that that's a very, very big advantage when it comes to somebody that may be able to just go first and end a battle before it even starts. Lay out a hypnotic pattern and neutralize the entire the entire fight. Lay out a wall of fire and block everybody out so that everybody can leave. There's tons of ways that you can end a fight before it begins by having a high initiative, and this is a great way to do that. The gnome, of course, is another great option for its resistances, of course, but it also has a lot of really cool flavor pieces that work really well here. And finally, the halfling. I don't mention the halfling a lot, but it's a really good race, and I think here it fits better than in most situations, actually, so definitely consider that. For other feat options, I think Warcaster is a pretty obvious one, being able to maintain concentration a little bit easier, being able to use spells for opportunity attacks, that kind of thing. It just makes sense, so definitely think about trying to slot that in there somewhere. And Fey Touched, for pretty obvious reasons. We like Misty Step, we like Silvery Barbs, we like having access to those through a feat as well for the free casting, and so that is really great as well. And for other options in multi-classing, we mentioned the Artificer, right? We've done that a bit on the channel already, and so getting that Constitution for our saving throw proficiency, being able to have medium armor proficiency, being able to continue with our spell progression, which is really, really good. So there's a lot to love with that. The fighter, for most of the same reasons, you get the armor proficiency, you get all of those fun things defensively, which are really, really good. And of course, you also get access to Action Surge, which could be really, really gnarly, especially given how many amazing spells we get here. And then finally, I wanted to mention the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. The Clockwork Soul Sorcerer is a bit of a weird choice, I think, but the way that all of this combines, just its first level feature alone, the way that it combines with our force you to re-roll type of stuff, it's all in there together, and man, you just become absolutely ridiculously annoying to your DM. And honestly, I see why people ban things like this. So that's our video for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Of course, next week we are going to be taking on the Conjuration Wizard, and I am very much looking forward to getting back to a classic, and I think you all will really like that as well. So until next time, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.